Humanity loves to believe we have history figured out. We draw timelines, name kings, and label every stone with a purpose. But every so often, we stumble upon a structure that breaks the rules. These aren't just old buildings. They are challenges to our logic, built with impossible precision, found in impossible locations, or serving no clear function. Even with lasers, satellites, and carbon dating, these 5 mysterious structures refuse to give up their secrets. Today, we count down from 5 to 1, the most baffling constructions on Earth that we still cannot explain. Number 5. The Shroud of Turin's 3D image. But a structure of linen thread that has defied every forensic and physical law we know, the Shroud of Turin. This 4.4-meter-long cloth bears the faint, ghostly image of a crucified man, believed by millions to be Jesus of Nazareth. But here is the mystery science cannot crack. The image on the shroud is not a painting. There are no brush strokes, no binders, no pigments. In fact, the brownish discoloration on the fibers is chemically similar to a dehydration and oxidation reaction, but no known artistic technique from the Middle Ages or earlier could have produced it. Worse yet, the image contains 3-dimensional information. When scientists run the shroud through a VP8 image analyzer, a tool that converts light intensity into altitude, it produces a perfect, anatomically accurate 3D bust of a human face and body. For context, a photograph or painting flattens into meaningless noise under the same test. No medieval forger could have coded 3D topography into linen fibers using powdered pigments or hot statues, because those methods create flat, scorched images. Even modern attempts to replicate the shroud using ultraviolet lasers, which can mimic the superficial fiber damage, require industrial clean rooms and decades of research. The question remains, if the shroud is a fake, how did a forger from the 1300s invent a photographic, 3D encoding technology that we only discovered in the 20th century? We can date the pollen, the blood, the carbon-14 samples, but we cannot explain the image itself. It stands as a structural ghost, a negative imprint of a body that no human hand created. Number 4. The Yonaguni Monument. Off the coast of Japan's Ryukyu Islands. It is called the Yonaguni Monument, and it looks like a submerged city. Discovered in 1987 by a local diver, this massive formation stretches over 300 meters long and 150 meters wide. You are looking at what appear to be broad terraces, stepped pyramids, perfectly straight walls, and even a stone arch that would be impossible to form naturally. The most famous feature is a carved rectangular platform that resembles a ceremonial altar, flanked by 2 vertical megaliths. Mainstream geologists argue it is a natural rock formation, a submarine terrace, carved by tectonic uplift and ocean currents eroding soft sandstone along fracture lines. They point to the fact that the Ryukyu Islands sit on an active fault line, and earthquakes could have split the rock into geometric blocks. That is a reasonable hypothesis, except for one problem. No natural process explains the road that encircles the monument's base, nor the pair of twin megaliths standing 6 meters apart, nor the small triangular pool carved into the top block that looks exactly like a ritual water basin. Dr. Masaaki Kimura, a marine geologist who has made over 100 dives to the site, argues that the tool marks stare like cuts, and the presence of a stone carving resembling a human face point to human modification. If it is man-made, Yonaguni would predate the pyramids of Egypt by at least 2,000 years, because the last time this structure was above sea level was over 10,000 years ago, during the last ice age. That means an unknown prehistoric civilization built a complex, multi-tiered city, which was then swallowed by the sea. Official science calls it a freak of nature. But look at the footage and ask yourself, does nature build in straight lines? Number 3. The unfinished obelisk of Aswan. It is a failure, and that failure is exactly what makes it terrifying. In a granite quarry in Aswan, Egypt, lies the unfinished obelisk. If completed, it would have stood 42 meters tall and weighed an estimated 1,200 tons, making it the largest single piece of stone ever worked by human hands. But the mystery is not its size. It is how the Egyptians planned to detach it from the bedrock. You see, the obelisk remains attached along its bottom edge, and in the quarry, we can see clear tool marks. But the tools found nearby are simple dolerite balls, hard, fist-sized rocks used to pound granite. Experimentally, using dolerite balls to carve a 1,200-ton obelisk would require hundreds of men swinging stone hammers for years. And that is just the carving. The bigger mystery: how are they going to lift it? The obelisk lies at a 30-degree angle, already partially separated from the floor. But to actually remove it, the Egyptians would have had to carve out the entire underside, while the obelisk sat on top of it. No jackhammers, no hydraulic lifts, just stone tools and human muscle. And then, after carving, they would have to transport it 800 kilometers down the Nile to a temple. Modern engineers have calculated that to float a 1,200-ton obelisk, you would need a barge larger than any known from ancient Egypt and a river current that could not be steered. Even today, moving a 500-ton stone requires custom-built trailers and multi-axle trucks. The unfinished obelisk remains exactly where it cracked, probably because the stress of its own weight caused a fracture. But the fact that the Egyptians even attempted this project suggests they had a method we have not discovered. We cannot explain how they planned to cut, flip, and move a 1,000-ton needle of granite. It should have been impossible. They attempted it anyway. Number 2. Göbekli Tepe. Before pottery, before writing, before the invention of the wheel, before agriculture itself, a group of hunter-gatherers built the world's first megalithic temple on a mountaintop in southern Turkey. This is Göbekli Tepe, dated to 11,600 years ago. That is over 6,000 years before Stonehenge and 7,000 years before the pyramids. The site consists of at least 20 circular enclosures, each ringed by massive T-shaped limestone pillars weighing up to 20 tons. The pillars are intricately carved with high-relief animals: scorpions, snakes, foxes, vultures, and wild boars. But here is the paradox: Göbekli Tepe should not exist. According to the standard model of civilization, hunter-gatherers were nomadic, living in small bands, incapable of organizing large labor forces or building permanent architecture. Yet Göbekli Tepe required hundreds of workers to quarry, transport, and erect these stones, and they had no domesticated animals to pull them, no metal chisels, no pottery to store surplus food. So what did they eat while building this? How did they feed a workforce? The most unsettling discovery came in 2017, when archaeologists found traces of the world's first domesticated wheat at the site, but it appears at the very end of Göbekli Tepe's occupation. That means the temple came first, not agriculture. The theory is terrifying. Humans did not invent farming and then build temples. Instead, they built a temple that forced them to invent farming. The need to feed the workforce and the priests at this ritual center drove hunter-gatherers to plant wild grains, changing the course of human evolution. We have excavated less than 5% of the site, and beneath the oldest layers, there are even older, unexcavated structures. Whoever built Göbekli Tepe did not leave written records. They left only stone, and that stone has made us rewrite every textbook. Number 1. The Baalbek Megaliths. The most mysterious structure we cannot explain does not hide in the ocean or beneath a mountain. It sits in plain sight, in Lebanon, inside the ruins of a Roman temple. But the temple is not the mystery, the foundation stones are. Beneath the Temple of Jupiter at Baalbek lies the Trilithon, 3 megaliths weighing approximately 800 tons each. To put that in perspective, the largest stone at the Great Pyramid of Giza weighs about 80 tons. The largest at Stonehenge is 30 tons. The Trilithon stones are 800 tons each, 15 times heavier than any block in the Great Pyramid. And they sit 20 feet above the ground, fitted together with joints so tight you cannot slide a razor blade between them. But that is not the end of the mystery. In a nearby quarry, archaeologists have discovered an even larger stone still attached to the bedrock. It is called the Stone of the Pregnant Woman, weighing around 1,000 tons. And in 2014, a German excavation uncovered a second, even larger megalith nearby, the Forgotten Stone, weighing an estimated 1,650 tons. That is heavier than 3 fully loaded Boeing 747 airplanes. The quarry is over 1 kilometer away from the temple. The terrain is uphill. No wheeled vehicles existed at the time. No pulleys or cranes could handle 1,650 tons. The Romans, who built the temple on top of the Trilithon, had no idea who moved the trilithon. They simply built over it. So who did it? The conventional answer is the Romans, but Roman records describe moving 100-ton blocks, not 800-ton ones. The stones show tool marks that do not match Roman tools. Some researchers argue for an unknown pre-Roman civilization in Lebanon, but no evidence of such a culture exists. Others whisper the name of a lost technology or a forgotten human capability. You are looking at 3 stones that weigh more than the entire Statue of Liberty, lifted into place with no machines, no written explanation, and no surviving witnesses. We can measure them, we can touch them, but we cannot explain how they got there. And for that reason, the megaliths of Baalbek remain the most mysterious structures on Earth.